Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the OK Show. It's Saturday. It's party, party, party. Happy anniversary, Mr. Rod Rodriguez. You're done.
That's that's the most hard sell opening I've ever heard, man.
It's your anniversary, man. It's your anniversary.
Are we finally getting
It has
paid
to
for
be a
this?
happy
What's going on?
Saturday.
What's going on here? Are we finally getting paid? That sounded like we're getting paid. That's how enthusiastic and energetic we are when we do hostings and stuff. You know, when we're getting paid, especially when we're about to get paid. You know, when we're already paid, we're like, yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome
True.
to this event.
True.
Right?
That's why I never take the money before the gig. Right? You've had those offers. They always
Of
like, all right,
course.
we'll pay you now. Like, no, give me the money after I did my job. That's what I always say. I've had that
Don't
so
pay
many
me yet.
times. All right, here's the money. Iceman, here's the money because maybe I'll forget to. Like, no, I will not take it. Give it to me
Absolutely.
after the show or after the gig, after the party, whatever. Don't give it to me now
Because
I
if we get the money,
yes, we will feel lazy the next day. You might
It will
not
be
even
gone
want to
by
go
then.
there.
it
Exactly.
will be gone by then.
That's how
by
I
then.
feel. I'm like, oh, no motivation to go there. I already have the money. I'll just screw you. I'm in hassle. All right, I'll just leave. Go somewhere. Not go to the
Yeah,
party, not go to
exactly.
work.
Been there, done that. That's true. That's true.
But hey,
So,
anniversary,
yeah.
right? 13th year?
Thank you, man. 13 years. Yes,
Holy
it's
crap.
it's gone by. Time flies. 2008. And
13 years of happiness, 13 years of regret. I mean, which one is it?
oh man, we definitely have more good days than bad. I can't like it. I don't even think we've had a bad day. It's been a while. I think the early months of marriage, that was the toughest. The first maybe I would say 3 to 5 months. The first 3 to 5 months, because I was adjusting to having somebody live in
That's
with
supposed to be
me.
the honeymoon period, right? Like the year
Yeah, I
of
agree.
the first marriage
Yeah.
should be the honeymoon period.
Okay,
But what
maybe
you're
maybe
saying
the
now is
first
3 to
okay,
5
not the
months is the
first
toughest?
the first 2 months we were excited, and then like maybe a couple of months after, because we went to Bangkok for a honeymoon a
Right.
month after, or a month after we got married. My dad sponsored our honeymoon, so he was in Bangkok. We went there, so that was obviously great. That was great. We were excited. We were through the roof, and we were on cloud nine, in love and everything. And then maybe like a couple of months after that, after the honeymoon, that's when it kind of reality hit us. Like she's moving in. She's moved in, and I wasn't used to living in with somebody. I've never had experienced that before. She's never experienced living outside of her parents' house
Right.
before. It was an adjustment. It was
Waking up and you're
it was
like,
more
hey,
my fault.
who the heck? Oh, it's you. All right.
Yeah. Waking
I
waking
forgot.
up and
I forgot
seeing
I'm married.
waking up and seeing pictures of your exes ripped and all over the floor. I was more like that. It was more my fault. Obviously, it was
You
obviously
went
my
through
fault.
that?
Oh,
All
I
right.
went through that,
Okay.
man. I went through that. I'm like, why didn't I not even like burn those things? Like all my friends were like, dude, you're stupid. And I had to give some of them away. I had to give some of the
All
I had too
right.
many pictures
Okay. I mean,
of my
that's part of your
past.
life. That's a part of your life. You just can't burn
I know,
it.
but I should not have to rub it in. I
And
mean,
to be
like a
honest,
friend.
this is news to me. I think
Yeah,
you've mentioned this before, but I think this is still news to me
I
because
did.
I see Bags as somebody who's cool. Like she
Yeah,
strikes me as a
not that
cool
cool. She's not that
woman,
cool.
right? Like I never thought that she would make a big deal out of it, but well,
No, she didn't.
apparently, well, she
She
did.
never did until we got married, and that's kind of like a wake up call for me. And a friend of mine telling me was like, "Dude, you're already married. She's kind of you kind of have to respect that. Whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was my fault. Like I thought she was cool with it when we were. I thought she was cool with it when we were still boyfriend girlfriend. Because I never got on her case about her exes or whatever." But apparently, when you get married, man, it's different, and you live in the same house, and it's her house also. So she has a right to, react to
Right.
what's there. It's already
So
her
those
house too.
pictures they have to go, right?
Yes,
Ripped,
yes, they had to go.
burned. She doesn't
They had
care.
to
They have
go.
to go.
Not that it mattered to me. It's just like I never even took the time to like, get rid of them. But anyways, it's an anniversary. 13 years. We've survived, and we've gone past the 7-year itch twice over. In fact, we're twice the 7-year itch, and we have 2 kids. as our track to show for, and we asked our track record. We have not lived apart. I mean, except for the vacations that we took, that was the only time. But we never, so it's all good. It's a
It's all
blessing.
good. It's all good.
It's all
According
good.
to
It's a
according to
blessing.
Flip Mode, it's about time. It's about time for a baby girl.
Now we're good. We're good, man.
You can name the girl Irish Ray or Antoinette
We're
Ray.
good.
All
We're
right.
good. We're good.
You're good.
We're
Are you
good.
sure? You don't want a
Oh, we're
baby
good.
girl?
Nah, we're
Dude,
good.
baby
I mean,
girls, they're adorable.
I
You can
know, I
have
know,
twins.
but yeah, we're
Get
good,
baby girls.
dude. We were good when we had Raj. We were like, we're good. And then hey, we'll take another baby. Why not, right? And you know, and I grew up with women, dude. So I'm not deprived of a female presence in my life. I grew up with women. I have like four
But it's
sisters. I
different when
have.
you're raising them.
I
It's
know
different when you're
it's more
raising them.
difficult.
It's different when you're living with them
It's more
and they're
stressful.
older than you are. Yeah, yeah, you could say that.
Yeah,
But all right,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. But we're good. We're good.
Anyway,
I
congratulations,
mean,
13 years. That's cool.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
nice.
And I think it gets harder. I think it gets harder the more kids you have. I mean, at least for us, anyways, it gets harder to get that done. To actually have another kid because your kids are always there. They're always following you around. You can't get privacy. We can't even like take time to just like hug each other and be on the bed together, just us as a couple because they're always in between. They're always gonna sneak under the sheets. They always want to share the bed with us. They're always gonna take our attention from each other, and we don't mind that.
Because
That's
we're
the cool thing about
Filipinos.
it
Yeah, because we're
because we're
Filipinos. Right.
Filipinos. Yeah, yeah. We don't let our kids like sleep in the other room
Mm.
when they're still infants. And we want them in the same room with us. So it's gonna get harder because with Raj it was fine because Raj was at school. We were like, yeah, we were together, we could go out on dates. But now with Diego around, obviously it's gonna be a while till he starts going to school. So and this kid knows stuff, man. It's like it's kind of like Raj, like kids know when parents have a secret code. When parents are planning something that night, the kids know and they stay up late. Or
Mm.
they don't like they're not gonna they know like, okay,
They have that
mama and
sixth
papa,
sense.
you have
They
that
do
sixth
have
sense.
that.
Mama and papa are planning something tonight.
Mm.
I'm gonna get in the way of that. I don't
Baby
want a little
girls,
sibling.
not tonight, mom and dad. Not tonight.
Yeah, not tonight, not tonight. So tonight, we started out with you being enthusiastic and obviously excited about the show and congratulating me for my 13th wedding anniversary. And we were talking about not getting the pay yet because we might spend it right away on something, and by the time we have to do the job, we no longer have that same energy and excitement
Right.
because we're no longer getting paid
Motivation's
after.
gone. You already have the money.
Motivation's gone.
You already got paid.
So, which leads us to our topic tonight, and we will be acknowledging the people tuned in. We have well, at least more than five, so that's good. But we're gonna talk about what are we gonna talk about, Ice?
We're going to talk about what brings more joy, people or things, material
Oh, this is a
things.
good one.
Right.
This is a good one. This is a good one. I know most people will say, obviously, people, right? Obviously, but what if you're single? What if you're living alone? What if you're not married? You don't have a family yet. That's obviously a different
Neighbors,
perspective.
office
Yeah,
mates.
yeah, yeah. What brings more joy? And you have to think also, like most of the time, things don't really bring stress. There's no drama involved. You're pretty much low maintenance. You're not dealing with emotions here. So, but I think most people will probably immediately say, what brings more joy? Obviously, people, right? Like you don't mourn over losing a thing. You don't cry over losing a thing. But when you think about it, you know, most people look forward to receiving something.
Good point from Jong.
Uh,
A few people and a
yes,
lot of things.
that's a
You
good
have a
point. That's a
point,
good
Jong.
point. That's a
I
good
can't
point.
say I disagree. A few
So
people
so
and a
what
lot of
so what
things.
does that mean? So what does that mean? It's things wins because there's more things that bring joy than people. Or are we going to talk about
Okay, does
how much
social
joy it
media has
brings?
something to do with it? With what's happening right now? People are getting more annoying. I mean, before it's you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, there were a lot of people. We were surrounded by a lot of people, but
Yeah,
we don't know shit about these people. You know what I'm saying? We
yeah,
just
yeah.
know their names. We know where they live. You know that
Mm-hmm.
that you go to the same school or you go to the
Mm-hmm.
same, I don't know, workplace and whatnot. So this is
Mm-hmm.
back then. You don't know anything about them. You don't know what they believe. You don't know what they watch. You don't know what
That's
they
true.
eat. and
They don't
now
know what
you
they do.
know
The doors
more
are
about these
locked.
people, right? Yeah, and now you know more about these people. You kind of sort of get stressed with, wow, I can't believe that. Like, what, that guy watches this or believes this or whatever. I mean, we're supposed to leave these private things alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, people believe what
Yeah,
they want to believe, but it's different when you know what they believe, right?
yeah,
What? He
yeah,
believes in elves? What the heck? Naniniwala sa
yeah.
duwende yan? What? You know what I'm saying? I mean, these things. Tunay na
Oh
siyang
naman,
ungo. What?
kukulamin kita kung di ka naniniwala. Yeah, like all of a sudden you start believing too. You're like, oh, what the heck was that? I believe, I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
Okay,
You
hold
believe in
up.
elves. I know, I
Your
know.
sister? Is this your sister?
Yes, my sister, my
Don't
sister, my
believe the
sister.
hype. Little girls are cute, but can be trouble when they turn into teenagers.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, Anna,
exactly.
I have a
That's
little
her.
girl.
Yeah,
All right,
and
I
she
know
has
what
a
you
daughter too.
mean, but all right, yeah, cool. Well, that's why
Yeah,
I want Rod to have twins,
you know,
twin baby
it's the
girls.
she's
I wish
probably one
that
of the
for
reasons
him.
why I don't want to have a daughter. Nothing against
More
my sister. I
stress.
mean, we're the closest. I mean, of all my siblings, we're the closest. We're partners in crime.
Right.
I know what crimes she has committed when she was in high school. I was always watching her back. She was always bribing me. That was the relationship we had. You know, she always had a boyfriend. She was always sneaking out of the house. She ran away from home once. She's always drinking with the boys. She was the wild sister, that
But,
Anna Rodriguez
but
Marina one. But
she
she's
turned
grown
out
and
okay.
matured. Yes, yes, she turned out
She turned
okay.
out okay.
She turned
So
out okay.
see,
But
no problem.
but
No
but
problem. What are you
she
talking about? She turned out okay.
yeah, but my mom, I mean, she stayed with my mom for a bit,
What are you talking
and
about?
that
Your
didn't
mom
last.
turned out okay.
No, my sister stayed with my mom for a bit. That didn't
All
last
right,
very
okay.
long. Then she stayed with my dad, and my dad just like kind of, was like oblivious to what was going on because, like I said, I was watching her back, and but she lived a good life. And like I said, we were all praying that my sister would get through it. Like she would get past that stage and not get pregnant and not get married, not have a baby out of wedlock, and not go to rehab, or not, she did everything. She did everything. She was a YOLO person. She was always, only live once. That was her thing.
Right.
And now
Which
she's a
is, I
preschool
think,
teacher. Now she's a
which
preschool
is,
teacher. She's been married to
right.
her husband for
Okay.
a while. She has
She teaching the
a
kids
teen.
to be YOLO. Like, hey kids, YOLO, you only live once.
No, she doesn't. Like, she's good. She can handle the kids. She's not like me. Like me, I take everything seriously. She doesn't, and that's what gets her through life. And like she said so herself, don't believe the hype. Little girls are cute, but can be trouble when they turn into teenagers. Which obviously she was, and now she's dealing with, her daughter, her
It
her
goes
only
both
daughter.
ways. I think boys too can be very stressful.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I
imagine
probably
if
wouldn't worry as
they
much.
hang out with you know with with bad friends. Imagine that.
Yeah, yeah,
Carjackers,
but but imagine me being
drug
stressed out
dealers.
already, having a son, and I'm like, oh, she's a school assistant director now. All right, so she's no longer a preschool teacher,
See,
huh? She's running
see
the
what I'm saying?
show.
See, that's what I'm saying, right? You're like telling
Yeah,
people like, no, they can be stressful when they're teenagers. Of course, all teenagers can be stressful. That's what they do. That's
yeah,
what we do as teenagers. When we were teenagers, when I was a teenager, I give my dad a lot of stress. I suppose. I think I did. I mean, I didn't run away, but he threw me out of the house. That's a different
yeah,
story, right? Your sister ran away. Me, I didn't want to
yeah.
run
She
away,
did.
but my dad threw me out of the house. He didn't want me to be in the house. So see, I mean, so
Yeah, but
that
I
was
mean,
still like, still kind of stressful
my
for
my
him.
stress would be doubled or tripled if it was a daughter. If it was a son, I'd be like, okay, go ahead. He's a man. He can come home, and he'll
22
find out the hard
years.
way.
22 years.
Um,
See, 22
yeah,
years. You're like what, 13?
yes.
2 years. Cool.
Yeah, 13.
Cool.
She's a vet. She's been there. She's been around. Yeah, she's married almost 22 years, but it's not like it was a perfect thing. She's had her share of humps.
Hang on. How
She was the
okay.
one.
How much older is Anna to you?
She's just a couple of years. She's like 2 years older.
All right. Mm-hmm.
She's 2 years older. She's 2 years older. Maybe not even. Probably even less than 2 years.
So
I'm
is
not
Anna
sure.
the middle child?
She is. She was for our batch. Yes, she's the middle child. Angel is the middle child for the second batch. For
Right.
our batch, she's
Right.
the middle child. Yeah, she was definitely the wild one. And I was a witness to all of this. The eldest was always a straight laced one. We knew she was gonna, we knew she was gonna walk a straight path.
She
But
wasn't
Anna was the
YOLO?
one who was like, no, she wasn't YOLO. She was like by the book. you know.
Dude, YOLO,
Um,
YOLO's the way to go. You only live once.
yeah,
It's true. Right?
that's my sister's line. Yeah, she came up with YOLO before YOLO became a thing, and she was funny because every time we get sermons from my dad or my mom or whatever, we get lectures, and like I would always tell her, "How can you take that? Like if I get lectured by our dad, I'd like I would take it to heart. Like I would be like so affected by it." And she's like, she'll probably be quiet for like an hour, but then she's good. She moves on, and she said that the secret is in one ear, out the other. That was
Yeah.
it. She just says in one. Don't let it.
Supposed to be,
She
yeah.
says don't let it stay. You know, like don't let it
That's the way it
simmer. Like
should be. Yeah.
when it enters, it's out the
Ching,
other. Like
ching.
don't
Right.
let it
Yeah.
simmer. But what I do is I let it simmer, so I get stressed out when somebody like reprimands me. But my sister, she's like, okay, okay, yeah, that's and move on to the next phase. All right, so we're talking about what brings more joy, people or material things, and now, okay, we have to set rules here because obviously, if you're married, you have kids or whatever, you're obviously going to choose your family. You're obviously going to say, obviously, your wife, because it's true, you know. I'm never going to choose a material thing over my wife, over my kids. But that does not pose a challenge, though. You know, it doesn't make it fair for, obviously, there was a time in my life where I prioritized things. So maybe I can talk about that experience. And then now, obviously, automatic, I'm choosing people, which is my wife and my kids. But when we say people, are we talking about our family? Or are we talking about the people besides our family? Because if it's our family, it's automatic. I don't think anybody would say I would choose things over my family. But I would choose things over certain people in my life, like what Jong said, right? Jong said few people, but more things that would bring you happiness. I get what Jong's saying. It's like not all the people in your life will bring you joy. Um, and most likely it's things that will
But
bring
these
you
material things don't matter if you don't have people to, to share it with. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
n- not necessarily. No, I mean, like I'm a loner, so I don't need somebody to play the guitar with me. I don't need somebody to I don't necessarily need somebody to enjoy the things I have. In
yeah,
fact,
I mean,
I
yeah,
I
probably for what, 5 days? But then after that, you'd probably go outside and like, oh, where the heck is Joe? Or where the hell are these guys?
yeah.
Right?
Well, you know what? If anything, the pandemic has sort of opened up that side to us. It's sort of like a nice way to determine if
Okay.
we really do need all these people in our lives, because the pandemic has kind of filtered out our interaction with people and how we socialize with people. So now we know, okay, we thought I couldn't live with my friends drinking beer all the time, and now I haven't done it in a year and I'm fine, right?
All right. Okay.
So
Anna
then you
says
realize certain things.
shoes and purses make me happy. Would you
Okay,
choose shoes and your purses over seeing your
let's not talk about
friends?
the family. So friends, let's talk about
Like,
friends.
yeah, friends.
Yeah, let's talk
Cross
about
us eyes,
friends.
we can
Or
lock ourselves in a room with guitars for
yes,
months.
yes, yes,
Yeah, because it's the
exactly,
pandemic. Come on,
exactly.
John. Don't you
No,
want to
it's
go
not.
out there and perform?
It's
I
not
mean, I've
because of the
seen you
pandemic.
play. I mean, I've heard about you being a really good, guitarist or whatever. But, I mean, even back then, like I would hear your name, like, oh, yeah, John. Like, we were classmates and whatnot. I'm like, all right, fine. But then I saw you actually play on Instagram just a few days ago, right? Because we've talked about
Yeah,
this. I'm like, all right, fine. Then I really saw him in action. I was like, holy crap, this guy can play. I mean, though you want to
he
go
can
out
play.
there and be on stage and like, ah, baby, I'm a wild one, right? I mean, does that bring you joy or what? Being there performing, making people go wild, like, whoo, yeah, Mr. Tuhan, what's up?
He's
Like,
not
I
really
would
the
love
front
that.
man, though. He's not really the front man. He's like the guitar
You don't
guy. Who
have to
like,
be the
but
front
here's the
man.
thing. Yeah, but
Was
here's the
Slash
thing
the
with
front
him.
man? Slash wasn't the front man.
You're right. Good point. Good point. But here's the thing with John. Right? He's like when you're that guy, you're the proficient musician, you're the technical guitar player, instrumentalist in the band. The guys who are looking at you and staring at you and critiquing you are the ones who also play guitars or musical instruments. The other casual fans who are just there to like enjoy the songs or whatever, they don't even know what he's doing. They couldn't care less if he was like if he struck the wrong chord or his finger was off key or whatever. But the guys who are like, who know the guitars and who know how guitar players are and how, this thing works, they're all eyeing him. We're all like looking at him. We don't care about the vocalist. We don't care about everyone else. So he's probably more conscious about that than, let's say, you know. So like if he's performing in front of like senior citizens or something, then he's gonna be more relaxed because he's probably gonna be like, they don't know if I'm playing it right. They don't know if I'm making up the solo or this is really the proper way to do it. But if he's like in front of like, let's say, an audience of a guitar lesson master class, whatever, then he's gonna be super conscious about it. I think, like us, like if we do our ad lib and we're doing it in front of Ryan Seacrest, then maybe we're a little bit more affected. I don't know with you, but I would definitely be more, you know, I would probably like up my game, and as compared to like if I were just like with students or something, we're just hanging out at the booth. So I would assume that's kind of like how it is for Jong. So I don't know how much he enjoys performing live. I'm sure he does, but the question is, what brings more joy, people or material things? So basically, I think the way we will, one way to look at it is like, what excites you more, buying the latest iPhone or like hanging out with your friends? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. Um, and I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've both been in a situation where, maybe I have a new gadget at home, maybe I have a new toy at home, and then my friends are like having a little gathering, get together, and I'm like coming up with excuses not to show up because I want to be home because maybe I have a new game and I want to play it. So in that instance, I definitely would say it's the material thing that brought me more joy because I chose that over going out and drinking with them.
Right.
You
Why are we
know,
setting rules
um,
here? It's just a simple question. What brings more joy, people or material things?
no, because you'll never get anything accomplished if we don't kind of set situations here. Because everyone's obviously gonna say, of course, my family brings me more joy. Of course, my wife brings me more joy. So we have to do comparable situations here. We have
Right.
to come up
Okay.
with situations where it'll make it more difficult for them to just say it's my family, it's my kids, like that with friends, right? So she goes, yeah, friends come and go. I'm pretty happy with myself. Don't necessarily need friends around me. I would rather be with family. See, that's coming from my sister who for a long period of her life could not live without friends. She was the barcadista. She was sneaking out of the house to be with friends. She was more loyal to her friends. She couldn't care less how we felt. If we were worried about her or not, she would be with her friends. And she can
Jeez,
swear by
people are
that. And now
becoming more
she's changed.
loners now. Being alone while
She's
listening to a
changed.
kick ass album for me hits the spot. All right.
See?
So that
There you
means you
go.
would
You
want to have
see?
more
That,
albums, right?
that
And
brought him more
John is
joy.
saying playing in public is fun, but being alone is okay too. All right. Slash
Yeah.
is the front man in his own solo band, though they do have a kick ass singer in Miles Kennedy. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
have CJ's thing. I mean, even if I'm filled with regrets due to the pandemic, I can't enjoy the final year of my high school. Never got into a first. What's this
Fist
first
fight.
right
Fist
yet?
fight. Probably fist
Fist
fight.
fight. All right,
He probably meant
all right.
fist fight.
Fist
Yeah.
fight yet? But I want to. What you want? You want to be in a fist fight? All right.
CJ, you're too big. You're too big. Stay nice. You're freaking 6 foot tall,
Mm.
man. You're too big. You will destroy your opponent.
Okay. All right.
Be nice.
Material things or people. All right. Which is which? Yeah. Sometimes people can be they can be difficult, right?
Annoying.
They
There's
can be
drama
dicks, they
involved.
can be assholes, they can be nice too
Take
sometimes.
advantage of you.
Hmm.
They abuse your kindness.
Man, it's
They're
don't you think
self-serving.
that's
You always have an
don't you think you're
agenda.
just too
Material
cynical
things don't.
about people? I
I
love
am.
people. You know me, I
I
love
am.
people.
Yeah, but you also hate people. I mean, come on, right? You say that, but
No, I don't
it's not like
necessarily
you love
hate
everyone.
people.
You
I
also hate.
hate
There are people you hate.
okay, here's the thing. This is what I got from one of my teachers back then. I don't necessarily hate people. I hate what they do. I don't really hate
Exactly. They're
someone. I hate what they do. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that particular thing that they do.
and
Apart
you
from
are
that,
what
they
you
they
do.
pr- they're probably cool.
You
And
are
you
what
have a
you do,
point too.
though.
You are what you
It's
do.
not what you think. It's not what you think you are. Like I can think I'm a saint, but then I'm a jerk to somebody. Then that's who I am. I mean, it can't be what they think beyond. Like they can't say, "Oh, Rod is this person," but then I'm doing something else. And I've dealt with people, man. Trust me, dude. I mean, there are people where like sometimes the sometimes the definition of friendship is so distorted. Like sometimes friendship is only one sided. Like it's only friendship if you're doing them a favor, but if they do you a favor, it's no longer friendship, or they can no longer. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a bad guy if you don't do this for them. But then there's also a definition of friendship where you don't have to do anything for people and you're still friends. So which is it? And I think at the end of the day, I love people. It's just that I've been in situations where I had the only person I could trust was myself. The only person who could bring me joy was myself. And it came to that point where as you get older, you have more friends and you enjoy being with them. And then you get older and you realize later on the people that you were having fun with end up becoming people that you all of a sudden like realize we had nothing in common with, or like, my God, we're so distant now, or we don't really check up on each other, and you're fine, you know, because I think relationships sometimes are situational. Like, you're only close to these people because of that situation in your life.
That's
You
true,
can't
though.
force that, right? You
That's
can't
true,
force
though.
that. You can't force that. So, sometimes with things, they bring you joy based on your terms. Like, you're kind of in control of the situation. Like, because it's your thing. Like, if I have a laptop, if I have a MacBook or whatever, right? And I'm going online,
You
like
do
whatever
have a
I do with
MacBook.
my MacBook, whether I put games on it, whether I browse the internet, whether I take guitar tutorial lessons, whatever, that's on my terms. I'm deciding what to do and what fun to get out of it. With friends, you kind of have to be in the same, you all have to be in agreement, or sometimes you're doing things that they decided to do, or you're doing things that you decided to do, and maybe you're having fun and they're not. Maybe in the conversation you think everyone's having fun, but they're not. You're the only one having fun. You don't know that. You have no control over it. And I think maybe for you it's fun, but maybe for them it's not. And there's always I'm always conscious about, like, am I being too selfish? Like, if I hang out with my friends, I always have that feeling where, am I being too selfish? I decided where to go. I'm deciding what to eat. I'm carrying the conversation. Am I being too selfish? Am I taking the time to ask them if they're having a good time? Can they even relate to what I'm talking about? And sometimes, maybe because I'm hosting it, like, they don't contradict me. So I don't want that weight of, like, having to make sure everybody's good. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. But with things, if I
You
buy
are
something and I'm
overthinking
at
it.
home, yeah, but when
Knowing you,
I'm
you
if I buy
are
something,
overthinking it.
and I'm at home and I'm doing something with my gadget, if it pisses me off, it's just me. I'm the only one affected. Nobody's gonna talk trash about me behind my back. Nobody's gonna say something. No one's gonna come leave that situation with a bitter taste in their mouth. And I kind of prefer that more sometimes, because I've helped people in my life and they took it against me. And there are also times where I left people alone and they took it against me. And there are times when you interfere try to help somebody out and they take it against you. So you're like, the heck with that, man. We're all adults. I do my thing, you do your thing, and then when we're all fine, we'll get together. Like, I've never called up a friend and, like, if I was like in my most difficult time, I don't know if I ever called a friend. A girlfriend, yes, but a friend never. And I don't know if that says anything about my friends, if that says anything about me, right?
Probably about you.
So, probably about me, right? Probably
Because I think
about
your
me.
friends will be there. I think they'll be there if you call them, and I don't think they abandon you. They're probably going to be there and listen to you and whatever. But your first option is girlfriend, then that's fine too.
Yeah. I think, because I think I have this guilt that, that I know that they know that if they're the ones calling me, I might not be there. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like, you don't shit in my house, I won't shit in yours. I won't eat the food in your ref, don't eat the food in mine. So I'm kind of like that way. Because if I feel like if I call on them and they come running to me at my most difficult time and it's not voluntary, then, I'm not the guy who's like, I can't guarantee them that, dude, when you're in trouble next time, I'm gonna be exactly the same way as you are to me. Because, like I said, different people have different approaches, right? You're like, you could be a
True.
generous ninong, you're right. When the delivery person is at the front door with the things that are brought online, no matter how cheap or expensive that is, that brings me joy. See, so we're not doing a tally here, all right? So let's just talk about situations where material things bring you happiness and people bring you happiness, and times when they don't. So, um, yeah, so I agree with Patrick where when you get material things, there is that sense of excitement. I don't know with Ice, because Ice is a people person. He's always been a people person. I know him. He's always been, nothing excites him more than being with people. And I don't have that kind of enthusiasm, when it comes to being with people, because like I said, I'm a person that is into loner activities. Ice is not. He doesn't play video games. He does not draw. He doesn't. Well, he plays the piano, but it's not something that he does. Like over being with friends. So I think that's it. You kind of have to assess too, like what kind of person are you? There's no right or wrong answer here. I mean,
Hmm.
does it make you an evil
Right.
person? Pinky's probably more of a material things person. Like she can't join us tonight, but I would say she probably is because she's more of a loner.
No,
So
I know
that's I'm
she'd
not
say
taking that
material things.
right.
Like I know a
Yeah,
lot of people who would say material things. Me, I'm just more of, I think I would say people, no matter what. Um, and I've already explained this before. Opening Pandora's box. Once you experience things and you get to use um to certain things, it's hard to just take it away from your life, or not have it anymore. For
yeah,
example, with gadgets and whatnot. I mean, I was fine without gadgets before, but then I've
yeah,
experienced having a gadget. So it's also kind of difficult to let go of these gadgets,
yeah,
right? So that's why
yeah,
every 2 years I upgrade my iPhone. I
yeah,
My last iPhone was still okay.
yeah,
It was still good, but I upgraded because I've been there.
yeah,
But still, it's more of, if we can have our way, I would go for, I would just say people maybe. Material things, they're fine. Like nice TV, nice computer, nice phone, nice car. But it's always like they get old. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They get
yeah,
old. But and I'm not saying like just people, like some certain people. Because me, I'm just like, I'm fine with, new people every day is fine. Like
yeah,
I keep the old friends, and if I keep accumulating new friends, that's fine with me too.
yeah,
The more the merrier. That's what I want. But then
yeah,
John's right too. A few people and a lot of things, that's perfect as well. Because sometimes
yeah,
some people can be very toxic.
yeah,
Some people can be very toxic. But I remember when I was younger, I thrive with these things. Like my friends having problems with, like relationships, family, whatever. When they come running to me, I didn't care. I was like, yeah, I'll stay with you. Days, weeks, that didn't matter to me.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
would just like absorb it and talk to them about it. Like I wouldn't really absorb it, but I would just like talk to them, make them feel better, make them see the brighter side of things. I think I like that. I like that part
yeah,
of, being with people. And if they
yeah,
don't need me anymore, and if they're not around because they don't need me, I didn't really take it against them.
yeah.
And if there's a
I
new
got you.
set of people who needs my presence, I'd be
That's
like,
why we're
all
still
right, that's fine.
friends.
Yeah,
That's why we're
exactly,
still
right?
friends. And I'm not really like regularly communicating with other people. I mean, and I'm not nothing
Mm,
against them
right,
because
right.
we're in the same boat. You never
Mm.
judge me based on like how much time we spend together. You never like, you know, like I said, and I don't mind what you do, like I respect you for what you do. That's your thing. Even if like maybe I'm sure you've had falling outs with friends you've had opposing political views with or whatever. That's their thing. If that's more important to them than your friendship, then that's them. But for me, it isn't. For me, it's like that's a different thing altogether, and I'm not gonna let that get in the way. I think that's why
That's
we're
what I'm
still
saying about
friends.
social media. Social media before, or before social media, these things don't really get in the way. But because of social media, you get to know
Yes.
more things about people. So
Yeah.
that's what's upsetting. But if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
that out of the equation, I think things would
Yeah.
be probably be better. I never had falling
Yeah.
out with friends because of political views, but I've had yelling matches, like
I'm sure.
yelling
Yeah.
matches,
I'm sure.
and
Yeah.
I don't know how they took it. I don't know how they took it at the end of the day. But me, I was like, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm still fine with it. Like we're still friends. I
That's
don't care. I
good.
would still like,
That's how it should
yeah.
be.
I mean,
That's
me,
good.
right? Me. But
That's
then
so
I don't
good
know
too.
about them on
I
their
know.
end,
See, that's how
right?
you're programmed. That's how you're wired. That's why you're a people person because you can take that crap. Like people like myself and like Mao. Like I would have talks with Mao, and Mao would be like, he would like would start a conversation. He'd be like, dude, man, he's uneasy. He's not. I'm like, what's wrong? It's like I said something, and I felt like I shouldn't have said. Like he's really worried about how that person might have misinterpreted what he said, and that's kind of like one of the reasons why I'm not so high on people because, like I said, most of the stress in my life it's caused by people. It's rarely that I have been stressed out in my life because of things. Like the only time I'll get stressed out over things is, and if you get stressed out over things, you can always go out to the store and buy a new one or whatever, right? Or you can always
Right. Have it
replace it or
fixed,
whatever.
repa-
But with
replace
people,
it.
man, but with people, you're only in control of how you are to them. You cannot be in control of how they are to you. So And you know me, I'm a control freak. You know that about me. You know me. Like I control my kids, I control everything in the house. I hold the remote. I'm like trying to, I'm a control freak. So if I'm in a situation where somebody is making me out to be who I'm not, dude, that stresses me out, right? If somebody says I'm a jerk, and I know I wasn't being a jerk, like in my heart, I wasn't being a jerk, but that person just took it the wrong way. But maybe because I spoke that way, maybe because, but you don't mind that crap. Like if somebody says you're a jerk, you feed off of it. You're like, yeah, I'm a jerk. Like you don't mind. But that's probably why. I think that's the reason why I'm not much of a people person. Is that, like you said, I overthink things, and you know I'm not, and I'm done with it. I'm done figuring people out. Like I don't want to walk around every time I meet somebody. I'm like, I have this big thing in my chest that says I'm Rod Rodriguez. I may come off as obnoxious, I may come off as arrogant because I come from this family or I lived in this country or whatever, but I'm really not. I don't really care. I'm really humble. I'm really whatever. I don't want to have to do that with every people I meet. It's like, it's up to you, because when I meet somebody, I don't really expect them to be all these things right away. I don't expect it. It will surface itself and show itself out. Like I know people who speak highly of another person the first time they meet them, and I know that person they're talking about, and I'm like, trust me, give it a month, you will hate that guy. And I'm
Right.
I'm so right,
Right.
right? But I don't get
Yes.
in the way. Like they're like, oh, this guy's so great. I'm like, okay, go ahead, you be best friends with him. Go ahead,
Right.
you'll
Give it a
find
month.
out. Give it a
Give it
month.
3 weeks.
Give it a month. Give it a month.
Not even a month.
And
3 weeks.
give it a, yes. We're the kind of guys that people hate right away, but with the more they know us, the more they realize, okay, these
Right.
guys are not so
True.
bad, right?
True.
Right?
True.
We're those kind of
True.
guys. They're like,
Right.
oh, these are obnoxious.
We
These two
rub
are
them
like
off the
this.
wrong way, but
Yes.
you know,
But
the
then
thing is, no,
what
you have to get
right,
to know us.
if we are jerks, why would Gabby be still listening to us? Why
Exactly.
would Mark be still texting me or coming over to my house when he's in town? I mean, these are guys that, we bullied back then, or at least seemingly we bullied, but they know that we're not like that. That's not who we are. They
Mhm.
understand
True.
beyond it. And I think that's why I'm not a people person, because I'm sick and tired of trying to have to be nice to everybody just to show them the definition of nice. That's not the only definition of nice. Sometimes people show you nice, but they're mean. Like doesn't mean it doesn't mean I invite you. I don't invite you to my house. I mean, it doesn't mean I don't lend you money. I mean, it doesn't mean I don't help you out in your direst need of time of need. I mean, it's just not how I'm programmed and how I'm wired. But I will contribute to your life in different ways, and I'm not gonna take anything away from you. That's the thing with me. I'm not gonna scam you. I'm not gonna borrow money and not pay you back. I'm not gonna like steal your girl or whatever. That's not the kind of guy I am. But I'm not all these like cliche of nice. Oh, he's a nice guy. Oh, pinakain kami, linibre kami, ang bait. Pinatulog ako
Oh,
sa
is
bahay
that the
niya, ang
definition
bait.
of a nice guy? Because
Dude,
somebody fed you?
it is. For people, it is. It is. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not a people person. Because most people, it's like, you're only nice if you lend them stuff.
Dude,
You're
who are
only
these
nice if you,
people you're talking
dude,
about?
99.9% of the people,
You're hanging
apparently,
out with the wrong people,
right?
man.
No, that's not true, man. I mean, you're different. That's why, and you can't compare yourself to most people. And I'm not saying that they're that kind of people. I'm just saying you feel it. You feel it. It's like you feel it. Like just because you don't give doesn't mean you're selfish. You're selfish if you take. You're selfish if you have more and you don't. It doesn't mean you don't give. Because if you give, I mean, here's the thing. So what's generous then, right? What's generous then? If not
Manny
giving is
Pacquiao's
selfish.
generous.
Okay. So what's generous? Is he really generous? If he has stuff that he doesn't need, that he would rather throw it away and give it to somebody, is that generous? I don't think that's generous. I think he's just getting rid of it in a different way. It's generous probably if you just have enough and you still give. That's generous. Because a poor person can be generous. A guy who only has a sandwich and tears it in half and gives it to somebody can be generous. But a person who has
Right.
1 billion and gives 1 million, that's not generous. That's just money
What do
he
you
can,
call that?
that's just a guy who's giving away money. That's what I'm saying. It's
You
like
could have kept
it's like
it. You could have not
yeah.
give it to someone else.
Yeah, but it's not gonna damage. It's not gonna put a dent in his pocket. It's not gonna make his heart sink knowing that he gave that. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's easy to say that because we don't have that money. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to say it because we don't have that money. But if you probably had that money and you're probably thinking the 1 million, I could
See,
actually
that's the
spend
thing.
it on this,
Friendship
right?
shouldn't involve money. because that's what makes it really. I mean, relationships with people. Money gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. It's
But it
it's not
always
supposed to
does.
be. It's not
It
supposed to
does,
be
man. It does.
um in the equation
With
in
family,
terms of
with
like
marriage,
relationship.
with siblings, money always gets in the way. Dude, people you as kids you fight over that biggest piece of fried chicken. More so about the biggest lot in the family, inheritance. There's no difference to it. At the end of the day, like I said, people will always be after their own thing. And I noticed that with a lot of my friends. When we were single, we were all like, yeah, I'd stay with you, I'd go with you. Once we all got married, we're like, pa-approve ko muna kay misis, or dude, I have to check muna my budget if I can afford, or which is understandable because now their priorities have changed. And it's unfair for you to expect them to be the same friend that they were when they were single as they are when they have priorities already. And I understand that. And sometimes that's what people don't understand about, let's say, like me. Like if they have a get together or they have whatever, and I'm like, dude, I can't. I'm watching the kids. They, then they would all
Right.
come up
Then
with,
that should be the
you
end of it.
know, yeah, that should be the end of it. Exactly. That's it.
Right. Can't.
I don't
Then
have.
that's the end of it. All right. Okay. Can't come.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, that's it. I can't. Yeah, that's it. That's how you are. That's why you're still my friend. That's what I'm saying. Very few people are like that. Very few people are. You can tell them
Hmm.
something and they don't make anything out of that. Most people will be like, to ganito to, ganyan to, right? I'm not. I refuse to be like that. I refuse to, and that's why it's like the less interaction you have with people like that, the less stress you'll have in your life. I think. That's why,
All right.
when I'm on Facebook, you rarely see me post anything personal. It's always like, yeah, just pictures of family that's personal, but I never post anything like, like I had an argument with my wife or I'm pissed off at this person or whatever. I don't, because I don't really want people who have nothing to do with it interfere with my my train of thought,
Yeah, I get your
because it's just
point.
gonna
Some people do that,
right.
and it's kind of
People do
embarrassing.
that.
They
People
don't
do that.
realize they're embarrassing themselves. Don't put your dirty laundry out in the public. Don't do
Raj,
that. All right,
don't do
okay.
that.
Luis Manuel Tetayao says, not just politics, man. Talk about LBJ versus MJ. Who is the goat? In an inuman, it will be chaos. Of course. These two. Well, but okay. But here's the thing, Luis. But isn't it fun? That's what makes it fun. People arguing about this mundane things in life, like who's the goat, LBJ versus MJ, right? I mean, that's what makes it fun. At the end of the drinking session, you all go home like everything's like let out. Everybody said what they wanted to say. I'm LBJ. I'm MJ, right? So I mean, right? But see, that's the thing. As long as it doesn't really get serious, that's fine. Because I've had these yelling matches with friends, and they remain to be my friends even after that. I remember arguing with one of my friends back in college. Were we in college then, or were we already?
LeBron.
No. It wasn't LeBron. It was some sort of random thing about politics, and it wasn't even like like really something serious. It was just like about something, and we started talking and it snowballed into something really crazy. Then we started yelling at each other. And this was at a Shell station, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
at
yeah.
a select
During those
station,
days,
like a
during those days, right?
yeah,
During those
Shell
days.
Select. So this was somewhere in Matina, and it was like raining hard. It was raining really really hard. So we couldn't hear each other. So that's why we were yelling too, because we were like shouting and whatever. And some of my friends were trying to piss me off, and I was trying to piss them off as well. So every time I say something silly, they'd be like, "Oh, okay, oh, in P, in P," and I was like, "Oh, in P, chuko," and I would I would say those things
Yeah,
like, "Alala
yeah,
na in P, dali na in P,"
yeah.
and they would like talk about these things, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
then it would the subject would change. Then right, I mean, all right, fine, that's it. That's end of the conversation, whatever. Then all right, okay, we have to find some place to eat or whatever. So, all right, let's go somewhere. Let's go to Times Beach.
yeah, yeah,
Eat
yeah.
eat breakfast there, whatever. And you know, so the conversation from politics was long over, right? Then we
Mm-hmm.
got there, then there wasn't any food at the place that we went to. Like, oh,
Okay.
sir, let me. You know what Master Yoda did? son, he was drunk, right? He was drunk, like,
Yeah, yeah.
sana, what na may tin, in pera ba niya mong kauban diri ha? Yun, like, namin kauban in PA diri ha? Yok, in PA niyok. Like, oh, in PA namin. I mean, these things, I mean, we were just like
Yeah, yeah.
yelling at
It
each.
carried over. It carried
Yeah,
over.
top of our lungs, like, a vein was about to burst, but still we could joke about it, right? And
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
so that's the thing. Like, I miss those things. I miss those times that you could do that. But now,
yeah,
because with social media, it's just it's overblown now. It's not like you're in the same spot. You're in a drinking session and you started arguing and you just like shout at each other and
yeah,
you end up
yeah,
just laughing after. With posts, you don't know how they react with your post, and they're just like typing stuff and whatever, and it takes away the social dynamics of being in front of someone and just expressing yourself. So your mind plays tricks on you with that type of interaction. Oh, what is she thinking? Or what is he thinking? What is he trying to say? Blah, blah, blah. Whereas if you're like face to face, it can be really funny. It can be
yeah.
hilarious. So, I mean, anyway, I was just like, yeah, trying to take something away from what,
No, I gotcha, man.
because
I mean, that's like I said, you would definitely you would choose people over things if that's the case. Like if those are the kind of memories you have with your friends, or those are the kind of friends that you have, it's priceless. But the thing is, here's another thing: the dynamics of friendship is that people change. When situations change, sometimes people change, and good for you, your friends haven't changed, But there are situations where when they're put in a different situation, the relationship changes. And that's the thing with material things, is that they don't really change. Like if you buy a toy, you bring it home, that's it. You know what to expect. It doesn't expect anything from you. It's wholly yours. You could do with it as you please. You could throw it away, you could keep it, you could frame it, you could whatever. And it doesn't really react negatively to anything that you do. Whereas, like I said, with people, man, especially now, like what you said, social media has like changed our perception of so many things. Like everyone has an opinion now. Everything knows a lot now. I think, or at least they feel
true.
like they
Case
do.
in
And
point, Patrick saying fans and players alike are stressed right now because the 75 all time great list.
yeah, we
And
could have an
like
argument right now over that, right?
everybody's like freaked out because AD being there over Carter. Are we talking about
Yeah.
Vince Carter here?
Anthony Davis, yeah, Anthony Davis and Vince Carter.
All
Carter
right,
was snubbed
okay.
off the list. Dikembe
But
Mutombo is not on the list.
all right, okay, but
Grant
Rod,
Hill's not on the list. Yeah,
what do you think of this guy saying this?
that,
Serving
that
God
guy's
makes me
baloney.
joy.
Baloney. You
You're
know
a
what?
liar, and I don't
he
believe
went
you,
to my
Jepoy.
he went to my house once, and my Lola was there in the living room, and he was wearing like a cross, and I think it's the BIL, like Basta Ikaw Lord thing. You know what
Right,
that is? It's
right.
like a group of
Yeah,
Dazer guys, and he's like this
right,
Dazer dude.
right.
Jepoy's
Okay.
like, he's always in all these frats,
It's a
and
sort of gang, right?
he has like that chinelas cross thing, and he
Right,
comes in, and
right,
like
right.
my Lola's like, oh, Jeffrey, it's like, oh, like he said he was gonna join the ministry, like he said he actually
The
he
king
actually
of
made my
BS, the
he
king
made
of
my
bullshit,
Lola
Jepoy.
believe that he was going to be a priest just because my Lola reacted to this cross that he
Ginugod
was
talaga
wearing.
yung lola mo. Yun ang
Exactly. Like he spares no one. Like he
dude, he's a
spares no one.
he's a treasure. He's a
Yeah.
treasure.
Basically, what he's doing right now, he's preaching to the choir. All right, boy, you're preaching to the choir. Magkabaro tayo, dude. All right, you don't BS the BSer. You know what I'm saying? Jeez,
Don't
where was
bullshit the
that line from?
bullshitter. All
Where's
right?
that from? Where's that from?
Don't bullshit the
Yeah,
bullshitter.
that's I know who that is.
Who?
That's Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
You know where it's from?
Where?
Inside Man. I love that
Inside
movie.
man. Don't
Have
bullshit
you,
the
you haven't
bullshitter.
seen it? Inside
No, I've
Man,
seen it. I've
Jodie
seen it.
Foster.
Clive Owen.
They were
Clive Owen, right?
Clive
Clive
Owen.
Owen. They robbed the
Yeah,
bank. Yeah. But
yeah.
I
He
don't
was he
remember
was
that
like the
line.
he was like the
Like that
negotiator.
line would remind me of Master Yoda because Master Yoda would repeatedly say that. Do not bullshit the bullshitter because she hates it.
Yeah,
He hates it when somebody tries to bullshit
yeah,
us, and that's
yeah.
what he would
Oh
say.
man,
Do not bullshit the
I've done
bullshitter.
that
So
so
that's
many
from
things.
from
So
that movie. All right.
I've done it so many times with people. I'm sure you have too, and you've gone through so many things. We've both gone through so many things with people. We're old, People don't think we're old. We're old. We're old means experience, and I've gone through so many times where people are BSing me in front of my face, and I'm just like making him believe that I'm falling for it. I mean, it's gotten to that point, and I've like, it's gotten to that point where people like BS you, whether it's you purchasing something and them trying to hard sell it, or you being charged exorbitant amount for something, or a friend telling you something, and you're like literally like looking at them in the face and you're just making them believe like you're falling for it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
and I'm thinking that
Bitcoin,
in my
man,
head.
Bitcoin. Come on, Bitcoin.
No, no,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna judge it because just because we're not into it, we're not, all
You're
my
talking
friends
about
are
hard
into that.
sell. Yeah, I know. Like some people are hard selling it. But anyway, all right, okay. Let's go
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
Gabby's comment. Rod, I don't listen to you guys anymore. All right, f
No,
you,
not to you
Gabby.
guys.
F
He
you.
said to guys anymore. I don't listen to guys anymore. Not to you
Huh?
guys. He didn't say to you guys. Did he say to you
Because I
guys?
think you
See,
mentioned something about like, well, blah blah blah. I
still
mean,
listens to
if
us.
we're bad people, why is Gabby still around listening to us? So maybe this is
Yeah, but I
his
know
reply.
that.
Rod, I don't
Like,
listen to you guys anymore.
I know, and yet he's here. Right? You know what I'm saying? That's part of the joke. Come on, man. And
Right.
we become sports analysts in an instant, showing all the stats and rings roll. Yeah, I never had like a falling out with a friend over sports or over whatever. I don't know if I've ever. The only time I've ever had a falling out with a friend maybe is like if I hear a friend like say something about me to another friend, and then that friend will tell me that person
Right.
told
That would be
me.
stupid.
And,
Falling out because of sports, because of I mean, you know what? Flip mode, I hate LeBron James. It's not even I hate LeBron James because I hate LeBron James. The only thing I
yeah.
hate about the guy was him moving to Miami Heat. And before that, I like LeBron James.
Oh, the
But when he
South
moved to
Beach one.
Miami
Yeah.
Heat, I don't know,
Yeah.
for some reason I got pissed.
You felt betrayed.
I'm not supposed to be because that's I mean, that's his decision. Who am
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
judge where he wants to play? He wants to play for the
Yeah. Yeah.
Lakers, whatever, right? But
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
for some reason I got so affected with that because I was just like, come on, man, just like win a championship. Just don't be with other two all-time greats and win a champ. Just do it by yourself. Just wait for but then, I think that kind of sort of, I mean, was the reason why I kind of like got pissed a little bit. But to be
Yeah.
honest, it's I mean, I don't like him because of that. So it started that way. Then Le- Flip Mode is a really really big LeBron fan.
Yeah.
So he's like LeBron, 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 and I would always mock him, and we would always try to like talk trash on Facebook before when Miami Heat and Dallas Mavericks were playing, and Dallas
Yeah.
won. Then the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
year, Miami Heat got into the championship again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Against who? Against was it Spurs?
Hold on.
Was it San Antonio Spurs?
Yes, it was Spurs. Yeah,
And the Spurs
it
lost,
was. No, no, no.
so I got
It
really
was the Spurs.
upset. Was
Yeah,
it the
yeah, yeah.
Spurs?
The Spurs. It was
Was
the
it the
Spurs. Yeah,
Spurs? And then the
Spurs.
third
Yeah.
year, it was against the Spurs, but then the Spurs won. So we were
The
like
Spurs
talking trash
one.
all the
The
time. But
Spurs one was the one where they were saved by Ray Allen's three.
yes, Ray
Remember
Allen's
when Chris
3-point shot.
Bosh
Yes,
rebounded a ball, tipped it to Ray Allen.
yes,
Ray Allen hit the three, saved them.
and it was
That
supposed
saved
to be
them.
like
The
out of
momentum
bounds.
switched.
He
Yeah,
stepped
the
on the
momentum
line. Was
switched to
that?
them. I'm
Was
not sure
that
if he
the?
did,
Yeah,
but that shifted the
right.
momentum and they won because the Spurs were leading the series. That if that game would if the Spurs won that would have been it. So that was a momentum shifter. I remember that. But yeah, but those things, like politics, sports, showbiz, what any of that trivial stuff. Like I never let that get in the way of friendship, man. I
I
never
mean,
let that get in the way
okay.
of friendship.
Even with shots fired, like okay, with friends before, and somebody was like "bugo guy," they're like, "No, but bugo guy." I've been into those type of conversation, but I'm still friends
Yeah,
with those people. I mean, because
yeah,
the thing is like you
yeah,
believe in different things.
yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
would like
yeah,
bugo, then I would like talk like no, mas bugo guy, like no, mas bugo guy, like, it
yeah,
would never end up in a fist fight or whatever, but we would
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
laugh at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? But then
yeah,
at
yeah,
the end of
yeah,
the day, if I mean, like for example, like politics, like okay, if Eric believes in something and I would judge him like bugo ni bataan, that's my judgment, right? And if he would judge
yeah.
me like ikaw po bugo ka because you believe that way, then
That's his
that's fine.
judgment.
We can call each
Yeah,
other bugo in this particular instance. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But then in
yeah.
other aspects of our lives, we probably have a lot of things in common, and we could like, all right, I mean, these things come out in those drinking sessions, or if
Okay,
there's just
so
nothing to talk about, that's just fine.
so joy. Let's talk about joy. The question here is what brings more joy, people or material things. Okay, what you cite some instances, like even our audience, for the people out there tuned in, Luis, Gab,
All right,
Patrick,
okay, but
John.
before we get to that, let's just read all the messages first, right?
Okay, go
So that we
ahead.
can like there, right? Okay. Okay.
Gab
Gabby
said
is an
as an
extrovert.
extrovert.
I'd answer people, but since I'm seeing fewer people now because of the pandemic, I'd answer material things. I've been buying more stuff online now than before, and that makes me happy. Who isn't?
Yeah.
Who isn't? But I
Gab,
guess,
make sure every time you buy something, you include the lubricant.
but
It's very
I
important.
but I guess at the end of the day, I'd still choose people because again, I'm an extrovert. All right, I'm with you, Gabs. All right,
Yeah.
always the editor, Rod. All right, Patrick. An unpopular opinion. LBJ's the decision represents all the things that are wrong with the NBA right now, like super teams. All right, agree. Okay, so you were saying,
Yeah, I was just saying, like for everyone, including us, we're talking about what brings more joy, people or material things. Okay, so maybe let's cite some examples on how material things or
all
let
right, okay,
people, if
yeah,
you
let's
choose
do that,
people,
right?
can bring you joy. Like what
Or
types of
you can
you
choose
know
like there was a time in your life that a
brought you
material
joy.
thing like brought you
Yeah,
joy,
maybe your
and
first
like
car,
people. Yeah,
your
right,
your first car. Like I didn't. My first car was a hand me down from my mom. So the first real
right.
car that I purchased was a Lancer EL, and
The white one.
I
That was
no
nice.
blue, no, it was blue.
The blue
The white
one.
one was Billy
The white
Kane's.
one.
The
Yeah.
white one was Billy
Okay,
Kane's.
okay. All
That
right.
was a
Billy
GL.
Kane
That was
had
a
the white
high.
one.
Yeah, yeah. I had the blue.
Yours is
Mine
like
was
the
the
blue
low end
one,
one.
like sort of.
Yeah, that was the one that I bought with my own money. So that was the first
It wasn't
one.
like blue. It was like sort of a sky blue, right? Like a
It
light
was like
blue.
sky blue. Yes, yes. You
Yeah.
remember
Right.
correctly.
Right.
It
I
was sky
remember that. I
blue. It was
remember
sky
that.
blue. Yeah, it was like the low end
That was
Lancer. I bought
nice.
that. Yeah, when I got it and I drove it for the first time,
They had nice
obviously my
rims. The rims were
they
nice,
did, they did, they did. That was the first thing I
right?
did. I When I got the car, I went straight to Villa Brile and had the rims
Oh, you
uh
replaced it. It didn't come with a car.
replaced.
I thought
No, it
it
did
came with a
not.
car.
I
No.
replaced it. Yeah, I replaced it. I think I
Okay.
traded in
Yeah,
the stock
they had
ones.
nice rims.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right. It's good that you remember that because I did buy the rims right away, and I remember buying those rims and I remember buying them from the store of a friend of by then manager Jimmy Gomez. He was like the one who
Right.
well, he wasn't my manager anymore, was he? But anyway, he was the one who told me to like go to this guy. And he's my friend, and you can get a discount. So I went there, and it was his shop was a Villa Villa and had the rims replaced. But I remember the feeling because I was driving my mom's car, which was my hand me down, and that car was like a 1980 something
Is that a
Corona liftback.
Toyota?
It's fast. It's whatever. It's the
Yeah.
liftback.
So
It's the
that's a
hatchback.
Toyota, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a Toyota Corona hatchback, but it's like 1.8. It's a racing machine. It has a super fast
Right.
engine,
The
but
brown
obviously it's
one.
old. The brown one, but obviously it's
Yeah.
old,
Right.
right? So you
I've been in that
feel that it's
car.
old, and then yeah, you've been. So
We went to
I,
where was that? There was a drag race or something. Where was that
yeah,
place?
I don't recall. Was that Crocodile Park?
Could be. It was
I'm
some
trying to.
sort of
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
like
I
like a
recall. I
village or
recall going
something.
there.
I think it
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
Crocodile Park.
It might be
Right.
Crocodile Park. So when I moved from that car and I went to I remember buying it from the guy, the seller was from Maa. So I went to his house. I gave him my down payment. He allowed me to give him like down payment, and then I gave him the rest in increment payments. He trusted me. He didn't even know me. It was just a referral. And then I drove the car out of his house, and it felt lighter. It felt like it had more pep. It felt newer. I was
Power
like
steering.
that that no, it probably wasn't power steering. It was
Are
EL,
you
but it
kidding me?
felt
That
it
wasn't?
I don't think it was, but it felt softer than obviously the Corona. That was like a heavy car to drive around. So it just felt newer. It just felt like more modern, the interior and everything. I was like, oh my God, this is like, it felt like it was my first car. Like I chose that car. I paid for it with my own money. So I was like, oh my God, this is freedom. It felt, how come it wasn't my first car, but I don't know, it felt different. And I can't compare that to like an experience with like my friends, you know? That was a me experience. That was different. That was different. That was a me
All right.
experience. That
Poor
was
friends of
all for
yours.
me. Now, maybe a comparable experience to that would be like when we went I don't know, all our party nights, those are all incomparable. I mean, obviously those are incomparable, but it takes a lot of things to fall into place before you have that experience. Whereas with material things, it only takes one. Like you just have that item and you're good. With friends, it's like everything has to fall. All your friends have to be there. You have to be at the right place at the right time. The conversation has to, it's more conditional. So I remember that specific time where a material thing brought me joy. Buying my first car and driving it off the lot of the previous owner, and just the joy of like I went around town driving it around like it's like, man, this feels so much better. It feels, and then I went to Paulo Tapia's house and test drove his Accord, and then my Lancer felt like crap. So when you were talking about how material things get old or you get sick, that was a perfect example of that. Then when I test drove Paolo Tapia's Accord, I was like, damn, I don't want to go back to my car. So I ended up buying that car and selling the other one.
Right.
But for a while it brought me joy, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Whereas with
after the
people, you don't
Lancer, was
replace
it
them.
the Accord that came
The
after?
Accord, it was the Accord. Yeah, it was the
Right.
Accord.
I was in that car
I,
too. I've been in all
yes, you
those
were the
cars.
it was
The
that
Corona,
car I
the
called that.
Lancer, the Accord,
Yeah. And then
the
you
Kia Pride.
although what was your first the super carry?
Yeah,
The
the
Ice Mobile,
yeah,
the
the
Iceman
Suzuki.
on
I
air.
think that's a Suzuki. That's a multi-cab, right? So I think
Yeah,
it's
I think it
a
was a
Suzuki
super.
brand.
Wasn't it a super carry? I think it was a super carry, right? Because
Like
he had the
Suzuki's.
van
No,
doors. It had the van door.
Daihatsu. I think
Was it a van?
Super Carry's like Daihatsu, right?
Okay, that's different. All right. So I'm trying to.
But that category. But I think
Yeah,
no, because that wasn't commercial. That car
surplus.
was surplus. So
Did you
it
have that
was
repainted? Because
because
that was blue. That was also blue,
no, that
right?
was actually just that was it was actually nice because the one okay that was an hour. Somebody owed my mom money, and it was what do you call that, like my
A
mom took
rental.
possession of it. It was like
Okay.
sheriffed, and my mom
Okay.
took
Got it. Got
possession
it.
of it. She could have like gotten the Honda Civic, but it
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
inside the house, so the sheriff couldn't get to it.
Oh, jeez.
So the guy
So
got to
okay.
the that like surplus Suzuki
Did
multicab,
you?
which
So
was actually nice
when you
because the
drove that,
paint
like
the paint job was good,
the paint was
and
nice. The paint was
nice
nice.
rims. So
Yeah.
when we got it,
So it was all
it was
good.
okay.
You didn't replace the
Right.
rims or
It
okay.
brought me joy, of course, but mainly it's also connected to people because finally I was like, all right, we. I mean, it's not like it's a nice car. It's a multi-cab for crying out loud. It's surplus even, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then what brought me joy was the idea of us not not going to be stuck in at the mall during Christmas
Commuting.
because
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah,
commuting.
commute
Yeah.
because it's so hard to get a taxi,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the hardest
Christmas, yeah,
part.
holidays, it's
Eh,
crazy. The
yeah,
holidays, it's
holiday
crazy.
seasons, it's
And
so hard to
you're
get a
buying so much
taxi.
stuff. You have like so much stuff
Yes,
with you, right?
the taxi
And you're
drivers are
like,
so maarte,
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
ask like, "Where
Manihapon
you
ba ko?
going?"
Manihapon
Manhapon
ba
pa
ko?
ko, ana, layo kayo,
Garayan
whatever,
ako.
They give you
Yeah, yeah.
excuses.
Yeah, yeah.
They're playing hard to get. So I've had that experience since I was a kid. So first thing that came to mind was like that, like finally during Christmas, holiday seasons, we don't have to line up for a taxi cab, right? So we can my family would be can shop comfortably with like
Yeah,
with your own transportation.
yeah.
And second was for my sister. Like finally, my
You can pick her
sister
up.
doesn't have to take the jeep like
Yeah, you can
every
pick her up.
morning to go
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
to school. My dad can
yeah,
drive her now. And she
yeah,
was
yeah,
very happy the first time she got picked up in school because
yeah,
they would usually take this pathway towards the
yeah,
exit in Matina, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's like that would go straight up to the yellow box so that you can take the
yeah.
jeep or whatever.
She was
They
still
would
in high
always
school then, right? Yeah.
yes. I think she was like in no, she was in elementary school. She
Oh
was in
wow,
elementary.
that
She was a
long
kid.
ago.
She was
All
a
right,
little kid. So
man.
all of a sudden, my mom picked her up, and they were walking towards a different path, like a different way, different exit. And she's like, why are we not going that way? And my mom's like, no, let's just go this way. And then when she got out of the, I don't know what exit number was that, she
Yeah,
got
yeah.
out of the exit and she saw my dad um,
In the
at the
car.
multicab.
Yeah,
So she was very happy. She's like, oh, is this ours? Like, yeah, wow. And she was so happy. You know
yeah,
what? Like now my sister's driving a Mazda 3, my mom has a BRV, all those other cars. I have like a brand new
yeah.
car here in Japan. Nothing
What's your
can
brother driving now? Didn't he have a Fiesta? Didn't
let
DJ Miko have a Fiesta? Did he sell that?
he used to have a Fiesta, he sold that, then he had a Civic, then he had my Kia Rio, right? My Kia
Is
Rio that
that
I
still
bought.
around? Yeah, is that still
No,
around?
she sold that. He sold that, and now he has the BRV. My mom's not getting a
Okay,
new car because it's a pandemic. He
okay.
was like
But
thinking
she'll get
of
later. So
the
he's using the BRV now. That's his thing now.
so he's
That's his
using
right
the
now.
BRV now. So because my mom's not leaving the house, so my sister's the one driving the Mazda 3. So
Nice.
here's the thing with all these cars that they're not even like really nice cars. My brother in Canada. He drove a BMW. He's driving a Mercedes Benz now. I mean, he had nice cars. I don't. I just have
Yeah.
normal cars, right? But these
Yeah.
are way better than the first car that we had.
Of
But
course.
but the joy that I had getting that car, getting that
Yeah.
particular car,
Yeah.
cannot be compared to the joy that I had from all these other cars that we had in possession.
Okay.
The, I can still remember that
Yeah.
time that I was like
Yeah.
really happy. Like
Yeah.
finally, it's not even air conditioned. It doesn't have air
Because it's
conditioning. It's
because
terrible.
it's that transition from nothing to something. It
Exactly.
wasn't a transition from something to something better. It was a transition from nothing to something.
Nothing
So
to
that's
something.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like
That made
single
me
to your
really
first
I wasn't
girlfriend.
embarrassed of it. I wasn't like, like, well, at least I'm not walking.
Me
That's
too. I
always
was.
that's always my reason. At least I'm not walking.
I think we both went through the same syndrome, the first car syndrome, because technically that Lancer wasn't my first car because I inherited my mom's. But that when I got that, dude, like you said, I immediately replaced the rims. I immediately like bought like colored wiper things, color coordinated wiper things. I bought like
Right.
a steering wheel. I don't know, like a shifter knob thing. I put like a sticker at the back right away. I had it retinted. Like I tried to make it a sports car, dude. I just couldn't afford a spoiler, or I don't know if I could find one or whatever. But I would have installed one. People would have teased me, oh, my sampayan or whatever. But like, you just have that euphoria of having your first
Exactly,
car.
right?
You want to make it a sports car. You think it's better than what it is. And
Yeah.
and now and,
And you
and
feel
now when
so
I see
happy
people,
inside because of
yeah, I
that
feel so
car.
happy. So when I see people with like a beginner car or like a starter or like an entry level car, and then they put all these dressings on it. Most people will be like, oh, that guy's or whatever. And I can relate. I think that's the guy's first car, so
Mm.
he's overdoing it because he's so excited. And I've been through that. I went through that experience, where I tried to put everything in that car that I could buy. I went to like Car Plus, and I was like shopping for stuff, like anything, replace the mats, everything. I'll probably end up the money I spent on that car. I probably should have bought a higher end model because I probably would end up
Right?
spending just as much, But see, material things like that's the thing with me. Like and we'll read the messages in a bit. But the reason why I'm so high on material things, yeah, obviously people say, oh, because you're a materialistic person. Yeah, maybe I am, but people are not born materialistic. There's a reason why they become that. There's just like why Iceman is a people person. There's a reason why he became one. It's not like he was born and all of a sudden he wanted to be with people. It's, I mean, he could have undergone a traumatic experience with somebody and not become a people person for all we know, but he didn't. So for me, it was like, I guess for the lack of presence of people being there. And that was kind of like how my dad expressed his love for me because he couldn't be there all the time. He always sent me cool stuff. I got a Walkman when I was like 10 years old. I got I got like nice shoes, I was wearing Sabago top dock sides when I was 10 years old. I had a Bally shoes when I was 10 years old. I had Lego sets this big. You know how much they are? They're still like I can't even buy for Raj now. But my dad bought them for me when I was a kid, and I only realized now, like, wow, those were expensive because my dad was based abroad, and that's how he showed his love for me. How to make up for his lack of presence, and I just had all the coolest toys. That's why my mind was like conditioned to the point where, you know, material things was what love was or what brought me joy, and you know, I appreciated them. And I wasn't
Right.
really reliant on people being around. I wanted material things. So when I saw my dad, I always like asked him to buy me stuff rather than spend time with me or play with me. I was like, "Pa, buy me this, buy me that." I became that kid. And I think I carried that with me as I got older. That whenever I was depressed, I remember Brando can attest to it. I
Mhm.
remember Brando was the one who he would always tell me this. I had a fight with a girlfriend, and there was a time when my dad sent me money, and I had an argument with one of my ex girlfriends, and I told him, "Bye, sabay ko." And Brando's like, "Where are we going?" And Brando went with me to Orogold, and I went and bought a Chrono Tag Heuer, and he's like, where's this coming from? Like he didn't even see that coming. And I spent all my money. I bought that watch. It was my way to kind of like make me feel better because I had a fight with a girlfriend. I was like, yeah, I was like, instead of spending it on her, I'm going to spend it on this. I was like, I went on that. And Brandon's like, wow, it's like, wow, like, and he remembers that. He's like, grabe si Rad, nag-away lang sa girlfriend, bumili ng ganito. But for me, it was like, maybe that brought me temporary joy. I'm not saying it's the result to every problem that you have, but it made me feel good at the time. It's like kind of like telling myself, why deal with something that you have no control over? Just it's like how some women, when they have a fight with their boyfriend, they eat chocolates or they indulge in the food that they want to eat. We resort to material things or other things to fill up that gap in our lives that was caused by the absence of someone. And in some cases it's better. In some cases it's a relief. Other people focus on their careers, other people focus on their cars, other people focus on traveling. If people bring them too much stress, and I think that's one of the reasons why. Jong says the first car feeling is something else. Secondhand 1987 box type Lancer. So he ended up having one of those Grail cars, the box type Lancer. I don't know, Ice. Are you old enough to recall that was the wanted car back in
Yes,
college,
it's
or
like even if when
aren't
Chuck
aren't
had
you from the Civic era already? You're from the Civic ESI already, right?
yeah, but
Or
when
is
I
it
was a kid,
still?
I see these Lancers, these box type Lancers, and these cars I like. Even when I was a kid, I always thought the box type Lancers were cool. So when Chuck had that box type parked outside,
Yeah,
like even up to that point, I still think it's a
yeah.
cool
It
car.
was still cool. It
It,
was
it
still
was
cool, right?
it was old, but I
Yeah,
never really thought that that was ugly. It was a
yeah,
nice
yeah,
car. Like
yeah,
even up to now, if you can just like replace the inside of it, like
yeah,
the
yeah. Make it
interior,
more
the
comfortable. Yeah,
upholstery, yeah, make it
yeah,
more
yeah,
comfortable and power steering and like the engines, like
yeah.
you just remodel it or whatever. I think it would still
Yeah.
really look cool. Like
Yeah,
I
I think
like that
people do
car.
that. I think some people do that. They do that as their project. They make it as
It's
their
like a
project car.
classic. That's
Like
a classic car.
it's a classic, and it's the Conyo kid car back then. Like
It
back then, if you
is.
had
It is.
that, it's not your daddy's car. Like that's like either your car or your dad bought that for you because
All right.
that's like and okay. Gab says, remember Rod? Remember when you parked your car at the station? This is what's like Kilo B. Then Manong Sikyo put his bullets on top of it to dry. Yeah, the story was I, I
Which car was this?
I
The
parked my.
Kia Pride?
I think it was the Accord or it was the Lancer. No, it was the Toyota Love Life. I'm trying to recall which one. But anyway, I parked my car there, and then I got home. When I parked the car in my garage, and I stepped out of the car, I saw bullets, 638 revolver bullets on my hood. They literally were still there because he put it on the groove where the windshield wipers were. So I must have driven really slowly or something because I brought those bullets on. I'm like, why the heck do I have bullets in my car? Like, is somebody trying to threaten me? Is this a death
Laglag
threat?
bala. Laglag
I
bala.
was like, no, I was like, is this a death threat? Is somebody like giving me a sign that freaked me
Laglag
out?
bala
So
na
I I
yan.
I I, I
That was a
brought the
setup.
bullets with me. I went back to the station, just to ask if anybody saw whatever. And apparently, the security guard, Manong Sikyo, the old guy, the old dude, you remember him? See the
Yeah,
old
yeah.
dude, the tatay guard.
Yes, 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 yes.
Apparently, he washed the bullets and he put it on my hood to dry. And I like drove all the way home
Holy
with
shit.
all six bullets intact. I was like, crap. That's because it scared the bejeebers out of me. That's why I went back to the station to ask, if anybody saw anybody put it there because I want to know who's threatening my life. And apparently, it's Manong Sikyo who just like dried his bullets there. And yeah,
All
and,
right.
and Gab
So,
remembers that.
not a threat after all.
Yeah. Patrick, this is something I actually want for Christmas. Can you
All
read it,
right.
Ice?
I recently bought a coffee machine for my birthday. I can finally enjoy a good cup of coffee every single time. Good investment for me. Plus, it was on sale too. I was very happy when I received it. My wife just bought, sorry, something like that. It's not a coffee maker, but it's sort of that thing that you, I think it's
The
still a
Keurig?
coffee maker.
Is it Keurig? Is that what it's called? A Keurig? Like you put this little thing, cartridge,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
then
There's
yeah, it's a
like
Keurig.
sort of like,
There
it's,
are different
what do
brands,
you
but
call
I
that?
think it's a Keurig. My sister has
Yeah.
that. I forgot what it's called. I think it's a Keurig.
Since
Keurig
she
something.
bought it, she only used it like what, 3 times? And she bought it like last year. And now we're drinking instant
Keurig.
coffee, like those 3 in 1. What do you call
Yeah,
that?
it's a Keurig coffee maker. I don't know if that's what he has, but I have a feeling Patrick has the one that's like around 300,000 pesos. Those legit presses, the espresso machines. Though they're like this big, and they have this thing where you put the coffee, whatever, and then you like press
Oh,
it. Like
well, apparently this is
I,
what you call a
that's
Nescafe Dolce
yeah, that's like
Gusto.
a Keurig. Yeah, that's like a
All right,
Keurig
so
machine.
we
Yeah,
have this downstairs. I remember she
yeah.
used it like what 4 times. Then after that,
Really?
we're back to she's so lazy to
Three
I
in
don't
one?
know, man. Like I'm gonna
No,
talk to her
no,
about this.
no,
Right? I
no,
think
no.
yeah, I'm not
Okay.
exaggerating. 3 4
My
times.
my
That's
sister has that same machine, except it's not Nescafe. It's the Keurig brand, and it's same machine. She has like a tons of cartridges for different types variants of
right.
coffee. And when I stayed with her, she told me, "Hey, have coffee as much as you want. You know, I have play you know." So I'm like, "Okay." I tried everything. You know what? None of them were strong enough for me. That's why I was discouraging my wife to buy that because she wanted one. We saw one at SNR, and I'm like, don't buy that. The coffee's not that strong. And I'm a strong coffee guy. Like I'm not gonna drink coffee if it's not strong. Like it's pointless. I don't want to drink it for the taste. But my wife's like, oh, let's buy it. It's so cute. It's so whatever. And I told her, no, it's pointless. So I think I'm not sure with Patrick. Patrick, tell us which one did you buy? Did you buy the Keurig type, the ones with those little cartridges that you put in that little thing in the slot, and then you get that coffee flavor thing,
Right.
or
Right.
did you buy one of those expensive press ones, which is like legit? Like it's like a almost like a mini version of the ones they have at Starbucks,
Oh,
where
I don't think ours was expensive. It was okay. It was affordable.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, those are
still,
not that expensive. The Keurig ones are not
she
that
bought
expensive,
it
but
and we used it 4 times, and after that, nothing. And
maybe it wasn't
speaking
strong
of
enough
which,
for her.
Gabby's like, I bought an air fryer last summer as a birthday gift to myself. It made me happy because I can finally properly reheat leftovers since I don't have a microwave. Okay, Gabby, here's the thing. We also have that. It's actually in the other room. It's
You'll use
still
that
not
too.
out of the box yet. So I don't know why we have that. Why
You
is she
know,
not using it? It's been there for
eh,
months now.
my brother-in-law has an air fryer, and my mom's been bragging
Okay,
about her air
okay,
fryer.
what's the function of an air fryer?
Okay,
Enlighten me because I don't know things about I don't know
my
anything about this.
my take on it is, and I'm not a pro. I don't have an air fryer, but my wife wants one too. Okay, hold on. The Dolce Gusto ones. Okay, so he has the one like the one that you have. That's what
Yeah,
Patrick
all right,
has.
yeah, all
The
right.
one that I
See,
was
this is
talking
affordable, yeah.
about, super expensive, somewhere around 1,000 Australian dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know it's around like
I
that.
would go
I know it's
nuts
that.
if she got that. I would go nuts. I would like, what? We use it 4 times,
No, because I have a friend who has that. Shout
right?
out
I
to
know. I mean,
Doc Alvin Medina. He has that. He brought
well,
one of those
well, he can
machines.
afford it. I mean, if you can afford those premium ones, the better.
Yeah. He also has a bicycle that's worth 250,000 pesos.
Exactly, right? I mean, if you can get it,
I guess
that's just,
material things bring him joy.
of course, Doctor Alvin.
He's a doc.
Go tayo dyan.
But
Materials.
yeah.
Material things.
Hey,
All right.
I guess the
Okay.
reasoning would be you can always sell it. Some of these
All right.
material things are a necessity. Okay, good point. Good point. Good point,
Yes.
Mary Beth.
But yeah, if
Yeah,
it's a
like a
necessity,
yeah,
if it
good
is a
point.
necessity,
Yeah,
enlighten me about air fryers. Like I said, I do have a microwave oven, right? It's a microwave oven, and it's an actual
yeah,
oven too. You can bake cakes
yeah,
there, whatever. And it's also a microwave
yeah,
oven. So
yeah.
I don't know why we got the air fryer. So I don't know why we got that.
Okay,
What's the
okay.
benefit? Is there like a benefit?
My take on the air fryer is it's an old technology, just recycled. Is that not the same thing as a turbo broiler? I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling that it's just like the turbo broiler, which we
I
had during
remember
the
the turbo
80s.
broiler.
You
Like
know,
with the
because I
turbo
mean,
broiler, you can turbo the
you can do,
chicken,
yeah,
and
you
you
can
can also
crispy
bake cookies
pata.
there.
Yeah,
You can
see,
make cookies there.
the air fryer is
Right?
like to the
Okay, so
turbo
what's the
broiler.
benefit? That's what I'm saying. What's the benefit of an air fryer?
No
Patrick's
oil.
saying air fryer is yeah, I heard this. Air fryer is a good investment in my opinion, much healthier alternative than frying with oil. So that means if I put a pork chop in there, it would fry like a pork chop.
It's gonna be dry as crap. You're
But
still gonna
then,
want that
I
oily
mean,
goodness.
pork they generate their own oil, right?
They do. They do. They do.
Right. So I mean, somebody has to enlighten me with this because I don't understand why we got the air fryer. It's still
Oh,
in the box.
my
We
mom
haven't
said she
opened
makes
it yet.
French fries on the air fryer. Like she uses her air fryer for French fries. I'm like, Ma,
Really?
you're 70 years old. Should you be eating French fries? I don't care if it's air
But
fryer.
even
You're
then,
70 years old. Don't eat
it's
French fries.
it's easier to go to McDonald's and get the freaking fries.
I know. See, that's the thing. It's like the most useful thing in the house, in my house, it's right here, right behind me. Where is it? It's like right there. Where is it? Can people see it? Okay, the screen got big. Anyways, the most useful thing is right there, right? This one, right there, this one. This is, we cannot live without this. We're and people are like, some people are still kind of ignorant to microwaves, or they're afraid of microwaves, or they'll give you cancer, cause radioactive, whatever. You know, I don't know, man, but I'm not gonna like get a pot and a pan to reheat something all the time. That's my coffee maker. That's our food reheater. That's our hot dog broiler. That's our everything, whatever. I'm a microwave guy. I cannot live without a microwave. That's the most useful thing. And the wife uses it for her baking too, because it melts the fondant, and so that's the one we cannot live without. Everything else we could probably live, well, except for the ref. But so the air fryer, I get it. It's healthier. I get the point, but I'm thinking it's like the turbo broiler. I mean, in a lot of ways it is. It's just a smaller turbo broiler. I really think it is. And just packaged differently. Ice, I think you're mute. You're muted.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Sorry,
All
I've
right.
been talking.
I'm like, I
I
couldn't
was
hear you.
muted.
I'm like, how come I couldn't
Shut
hear
up!
you?
Shut up! Yeah, all right, okay. No audio. Thanks, John. All right, okay. I was muted. Sorry. Hang on. What's the benefit? I mean, what? Like when you say it's healthier, how many years will that give me if I start using that? Does that
Dude,
mean I'm not gonna die early? Like how many
you
years?
should
Are we
watch
talking
the
about 10, 15 years?
infomercials. Watch the infomercials. But
But
wait, this air
wait.
fryer will I'm Chef Tony.
And if you
This
order
air fryer will
now,
cook your
you get
wife.
like, but wait. Like what the heck?
It will cook your wife. If she
I'm
nags too much,
I
put
am
your
not
wife in there.
complicated person. I always say to people that I can always go to the supermarket right near me. All right. It's just about
Have
two
it
minutes
prepared.
drive from my
It's
house,
prep.
and I can buy
It's
food
prep.
there. So I don't
Yeah.
need all these things. But then my wife keeps on getting these dolce gusto, whatever you call that shit. Like I don't know if it's a coffee maker. But then we use it for about four times. Then now we're back to like the
Here's
three.
my dolce
Exactly,
gusto,
right?
man. That's that's
I'm back
that's
to
my
that.
dolce gusto right there. Or
I
whatever. What
am
the heck?
back to that
Yeah.
shit. That's the thing. I'm back to
Your dolce
drinking those
gusto, man.
things. I don't know why we got that. It's still there. It's taking space. It's right
Yeah.
beside no, it's oh okay. Right. We have this what do you call that? Like whatever you call it, like what you call it, like a cabinet. Then we have the air
Pantry. Your
pot.
pantry. Like a
All right,
pantry.
yeah. So we have the air pot, then we have the rice cooker, then above it we have that thing, the dolce whatever, right? But then we
Yeah.
also have
Yeah.
like the tea, whatever, like all those jars that we put there, like for
Yeah.
sugar, tea, coffee, or
Yeah.
whatever, right? Then it's just there. It's been there for about a year now. We
Have
only
you
use it
tried
four
it?
times.
You
Yeah, I've
don't. You're not
tried
a
it.
coffee drinker. You've tried it. Did you
No,
like
now
it?
I drink coffee in the morning now. Like only once.
Did
Once
you
a day
like
I
it?
drink. I think it was okay, but it's more of like I don't know how to use it too. So if I know how to use it, I'd probably use it, but I don't know how to use it. She never
I think you
taught
pop
me.
that thing in, and then you press
And
something, and
that's
then you
it.
remove the thing.
I don't
It's
want to ruin
empty.
it or something. So I was like, I don't know
That's
how to
it.
use it. So I keep on buying those 3-in-1 coffee, like those instant coffee. So that's what
Yeah.
we drink now. So she never bothered to teach me, or probably
Yeah.
is it expensive though? Like if I buy the instant coffee compared to those whatever you
Oh, those are more expensive.
whatever those things
The
that you put in there
cartridges, those little
are
packs, yeah,
expensive.
those
They're
are more
more
expensive,
expensive.
of course.
Then
Yeah, I
why the
think
heck did she buy
500,
that?
probably
It's
500 for like how many pieces?
and how many how much coffee can you make out of it for that 500
Probably
whatever?
depends. Each cartridge is one coffee, one cup, basically. That's it.
Huh?
Yeah, it's just one
Huh?
cup. It's one cup.
Why the hell did she
That,
buy that? Instant
that's
coffee is
why
so much better.
I
It's
have
so cheap.
I have a traditional coffee maker, and what I do is buy this bag of ground coffee, and then the traditional coffee maker can make up to 3 to 5 cups per
But
timplada
still, the instant coffee
per
would still
serving
be the instant
per
coffee would still be
timplada.
cheaper, right?
Instant
Compared
coffee
to
is
these
still
things.
cheaper, man. It is still cheaper, and you don't have to
Man,
put
I don't
sugar
know where she
anymore. You
got
don't have to
that.
put creamer
I don't know where
anymore.
she got that, right? Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh man, air fryer, Dolce Gusto. Wow, what's next?
I know. I got you, man. I mean,
She get all
my
these things.
wifey's, my wifey just needs her mixers. That's
Anyway,
it. She's good.
all right, dude.
Yeah.
Can we? All right. Got something tomorrow. So can we like in
Go
5 minutes?
ahead. Wrap it up. We're
Can we
good.
wrap it up? All right.
Yeah, yeah. We could have wrapped it up a while ago. It's fine.
I was like,
Yeah.
but man,
Just
I'm like,
use
see,
your coffee maker. Ice.
I
Use your
didn't
coffee
realize
maker.
that air fryer is just a smaller turbo. I don't know how small our air fryer is, but dude, the air fryer that we have, it was a big box. So is there a big air fryer?
It's probably like a rice cooker size or bigger. Depends on your rice
Right, because
cooker.
it
It's
was
probably like
yeah,
bigger than a rice cooker.
it wasn't like those like I've seen the small ones because
Yeah.
my friend Chris, my American friend, she brought her air fryer here. It was like really small, like this small.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
she
yeah.
had that. So my impression was air fryers are small. But then my wife bought an air fryer and
Yours
it was
can
big.
probably cook a wool chicken. It can probably accommodate a wool chicken. Like I think it can handle a wool chicken. That's probably the
Why would
size that
she
you have.
want to air fry a chicken when we can fry it? Just fry it.
Dude, you know what? If
We
I were
like it
you,
fried in oil.
I would sleep with one eye open. All right. I wouldn't want to be waking up the next day missing a body part, realizing it was air fried. What are we having this morning? What are we having tomorrow for breakfast?
Your
A
arm.
wiener. We're having a wiener.
Your freaking small wiener. Right? Use it as it needs to be used. I know, John,
The
it needs to be
what? The
used.
wiener?
But if
The
no,
wiener?
I mean, I think he's talking about the
Yeah, I
Dolce
know, I know, I
Gusto.
know. I know.
But hey, but it's so expensive. I don't know how much a cartridge is.
Like I
Holy
said, like, I
shit!
think it's 500 for like a few, for me,
I'm
the
gonna
reason why I
check.
stopped using my sister's is that it's just not strong. Like when my
Right,
sister offered me to use it, I used it. Like I had it twice. I'm
right.
like,
I hope I don't forget. Okay, I'm gonna take pictures of these cartridges in at the supermarket. I'm
yeah,
gonna show it next
you're
week
you are
and
not
see how.
you're not a material thing kind of guy. That's why. That's why you don't really care about it. You're not. The most material thing that you have is your iPhone, and that's a necessity, like what your aunt said. And then your Apple Watch your mom bought for you. Like you didn't even like, you're good with. So you're not a material thing kind of guy. You've always been a people person. That's why we have this show. That's why you agreed to doing this. It's a material because you're not a material thing. I'm the material thing guy. I've always
Yeah,
been,
because
and I don't
you bought
deny
a
it.
MacBook Pro
I don't.
for the show.
Well, it's
My
kind. No,
laptop's kind of
no.
old. I'm gonna buy a MacBook Pro.
No, I'm putting up a
Boom.
studio, dude. I have a studio project. I told you about that. I have a studio project.
Right.
So yeah, so I was actually thinking about selling like my XLR mics, and I bought like Jong's Focusrite for that. And I was thinking about
Right.
selling it, and then I realized no, I'm gonna do a studio project. Jong, I saw some episodes of Red Shawl, and he's putting up like he has legit full size studio. Mine's not a record. Well, it's a recording studio, but it's more for audio for voice. But I'm gonna put like like no like soundproofing whatever all over
Hmm.
my wife's pantry will be a studio, and I realize it's time to invest in that because with the pandemic, most people and I have I know people who like can hook me up with voiceover gigs and stuff, so I'm like, okay, that's good. And plus we have the show, and we're going to be doing podcasts and stuff, so it's going to be yeah, hopefully it's
It'll be
going to
very
be an
useful.
income generating
Yeah.
studio. Yeah, you have a whole room, man. Look how big your room is. That looks legit. No, I don't want the same one as Rhett Shaw's, dude. That Rhett's is like a legit studio. All right, so let's read. Jong says just buy a sachet of Nescafe creamy latte mix in hot water, cinnamon, little salt, instant Starbucks fraction of the cost. See, that's what Jong.
Yeah. I'm
Good
cool with that.
advice.
Cool. I don't know
You
why
want
she
the
got
same
all
one?
those other things. All right, Patrick. I think the coffee pods. Oh, you call it coffee pods. See, I'm so ignorant. The coffee
I know.
pods are
I
cheaper
call
here
it
in
like
Japan.
cartridges.
Yeah, I know. Coffee
What are the
pods.
ink?
We should get educated. All right. Yeah. Okay. I think the coffee pods are cheaper than in Japan compared to the Philippines. All right. Okay. That's why I'm gonna take pictures. I'm gonna show it on Saturday.
Eight
Next
dollars
Saturday.
fifty in Australia. Now hold on.
Holy crap!
Is
The
that
average
for
coffee
one
pod
coffee
this costs
pod?
around
How
eight
many do you get
fifty
per
Australian
pack?
dollars.
That's got to be more than one.
This is
That's
the
got to
same
be at least
ballpark. All
maybe
right. Okay.
five. Probably
Now,
five.
how many coffee can
But
you make
I
for
know. I
$8.50?
know. I hope it's not just one pod.
Right.
I
All right.
mean,
All right.
yeah,
I'll
that's
try to
expensive.
find out and see if I can make one and drink it while we're having the show. Because I'm
Yeah.
not exaggerating. It's been there, just sitting its ass
Wait
for
a
about
minute.
a year now. Wait a minute.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's do that for our next episode. We'll show
All right.
stuff that we own that we don't use. All right.
Okay.
Like
Cool.
you have to bring out something that you have not used or done anything with for like
Dude,
at least a year or two.
we subscribe to a cable TV here. We don't watch TV. Holy shit! It's been 2 years now. The reason why I
Well,
got it was because I thought we need news for like earthquakes and typhoons and whatnot, and I want my kid to
okay,
watch.
hold on. I'll show you
Um,
something.
like Japanese TV shows, but she just watches YouTube and Netflix and Hulu. Holy crap! We should get rid of it, but I don't
Do you
know.
know what you okay, you know what this is?
What is
You know
that?
what this is?
Is that a speaker? Is that a speaker? Is that a light? What speaker? Should be a speaker, right? Amazon. Ah, it's an Amazon. Is it like a what? Like Alexa? Is
It's an
that Alexa?
Alexa. It's
Alexa. All
Alexa.
right.
But we don't use it. You know? That's the
Why do you
thing.
have it? Because you bought an Apple
Uh
TV.
no, this was I think this was sent by a cousin or something. I
Right.
didn't buy it. I mean, it was sent to us by a
Why are you
cousin,
not
but
using
we
it?
used we've used it a couple of times. It's fun, you know. Alexa do this, Alexa do that, whatever. But you know, I own an iPhone, and for some reason, it won't play the music from my iPhone. So I think
Right.
it
Yeah.
because I think it's an Android thing, you know.
Yeah. It's an
But it
Android
works
thing.
in other like weather, all that stuff. It works, but it's like I don't know, man. We feel like it's listening, you know. So we're kind of like we're kind of
I get
paranoid. Like
paranoid. All right.
we
I
might be
get it.
saying keywords, and you will like send it to the CIA or something. But either way, we don't use it. We thought like if you see it in commercials or you see it in, like people using it, but I don't know. You know, maybe my kid, maybe Raj will use it in his room when he goes. But we don't. We've used it a total of maybe 3 times, and that's it.
Right.
It's remained unplugged. So it's one of those things that you have. We've had this for like 3 years already, or 4 years. So it's been a while.
Okay. What is
And
cord cutting? Is cord cutting a thing in Japan? Like, what cord cutting are you
oh,
talking about? Cord cutting.
just set the
What's cord
Apple
cutting?
location to US. Cord cutting. What is cord cutting? Ice is cord cutting. Cord cutting. I think.
Cord
Um,
cutting.
what is cord cutting? Is that like an opening of an establishment? No, that's ribbon
Cord
cutting.
cutting.
That's
I
ribbon
don't know
cutting.
what that is.
Ribbon cutting.
I don't. Ribbon cutting.
We can
Ribbon
redirect your
cutting.
Spotify there. Really? Wow, I did not know. Jong, I'm sorry, man. I'm
Should
a
try it
noob. I
out.
don't know
Should
how
try it out.
Alexa works. Yeah,
And go
I'll
back.
get some pointers when I go to
I don't know
visit
what
Jong.
cord
I'm gonna
cutting
visit Jong.
is.
Probably that's probably like when you're a baby, you cut out the cord, you send it to this cryo something, you pay them, and then they will know the whole profile of your baby's health so that
I
when your
haven't
baby
heard of
needs
it.
it, they will need that.
Cord
Canceling
cutting.
subscription.
Canceling subscription size.
Oh,
All right. Okay.
replacing your cable. Okay.
I don't know. It's internet based, you know. So I don't know. I don't know really because it's internet based. It's not even like they didn't. They just sent me like what do you call those things? Um, you call that? There's something that it's called. You know, like I forgot the term, but I have that
Cheat,
thing.
cheat. Miss cheat daw.
I have that thing. I
Cheat.
have that small
Dali lang,
box,
Sarah. Gisulat pa.
and I connect it to the internet and connect it on my TV, and voila, I have cable TV now. So it's not, you know, it's just a box that I connect to my internet and I connect to my TV, and that's it. That's my cable TV. So I think I can, but I have a 2 year contract with that. I don't know if I think it's more than 2 years now. So I think it's safe to just have cut it off because we're not even using it. But because I'm after like the local TV channels because I want my kid to watch TV because maybe she'll be talking to friends, and if her friends are watching TV, then she needs to
Yeah.
know like what shows they're watching, and she could watch it too. So I still have to wait, but it's been 2 years now, and yeah, it's crap. We're,
Yeah.
we're wasting money. We're
Yeah.
throwing money actually.
I know,
Anyway,
I know. We're yeah, but anyway, we'll talk about that next topic. Shout out to Julius. You joined late, Julius, but next Saturday we'll have another
JJTV.
episode.
All right. Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
And Gab, since your Alexa woke up already, Alexa, can you play porn? I don't know if it's
Alexa, Yui Hatano.
Alexa, Maria Ozawa.
Dude,
I know what
why
you're
is-
saying.
Mario sounds like
Oh,
yesterday's
I know.
news. Dude,
I know, but in the
she's
Philippines,
so popular,
she's
right?
like, yeah.
You
Rod,
should
you
get
just
to know
triggered my
names
echo
like
dot.
Aki Sasaki. Aki
Everyone has
Sasaki,
a-
Yui
everyone-
Hatano.
Everyone is an echo dot, and they're all using theirs, and I'm not
Kisaki,
using
right?
mine. So
Rod
something's
just triggered my
wrong.
echo dot. Sorry, John.
Alexa, can you sing me a song? She will actually start singing. She'll be like, "Na, na, 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 na." Alexa, who is Alritz Lucero? Alritz Lucero is a famous Mexican boxer who got knocked out by Manny Pacquiao in the third round.
That's Eduardo Lucero, you
Oh,
stupid crap.
sorry.
Right. Alexa, you're
Edwin. That's
stupid. You
Edwin
got the name
Lucero, not
wrong.
Eduardo. It was Edwin
Was it
Lucero, not
Edwin?
Eduardo.
Holy crap.
Edwin Lucero,
Edward.
yeah.
It's close. Ed. All right. Anyway, all right. We'll see you next week, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've been uploading stuff on our podcast. Yeah, check it out and yeah, spread the word.
Let's read this before we jump out.
All right.
Best answer ever. People who gives me my favorite things bring me joy. So basically, it's both. It's both. People and material things bring him joy.
Julius,
That's the
Julius,
answer.
that's the best answer for tonight.
That's the
People who
best
gives
answer.
me my favorite things brings me joy.
See?
Of
So what
course.
is it?
I
Is it the
mean,
people
right?
or is it the
Or the
things?
things
Right?
that they give to you. Holy crap! Yeah, you're. That's wow. That's
Mind blown.
yeah. That's mind
Mind
blowing.
blown.
Yeah, you mind fucked me, right?
Yeah,
Holy crap!
yeah.
Right.
Mind blown.
Whenever YouTubers say Alexa, they cut that off in the video. All right. Okay. Echo Dot is going crazy right now. My Echo Dot's going. All right. Okay. Well.
Everyone has it.
Okay. All right. So just keep chill. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week. And check out our podcast, of course. It's still the OK Show. It's on Spotify and also on RSS.com. What else? I think it's also on Google Podcasts. So yeah, whatever
We're
is
everywhere.
accessible, whatever's convenient for you.
We're
Just
at NCCC
yeah.
department store. Victoria Plaza Park and Shop.
JS Kaisano Illustre, Felcris,
Kirantedos. Kirantedos.
and
Happy
Kirantidos.
Emporium. We are at the, anyway.
Johnny Manila Textile. Holy crap.
Mantex. We're at
Mantex.
Mantex.
All right.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so
All right.
thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week. This has been the OK Show. What brings more joy? People or material things? According to Julius, people who gives him his favorite things bring him joy. And that's the word for the day. That's the word for the
Best
day.
answer.
And thank you very much. This has been Iceman.
Alexa, bark like a dog. This is Rod Rodriguez. We're out.
And we are out, people.